I've been so blessed to be here. First, I want to just say thank you for the opportunity to speak. It's so much easier to speak one-on-one with patients. And so I know this is a growing season for me because I'm speaking in this atmosphere. So again, thank you. Thank you to each one of you in your respective places. To Apostle, Pastor Sheila, and you pastors here as well, and Pastor Hudson. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. So my title today is Take Care of Your Body. It is your only place to live. And I want you to think about that in the fact that, the minute you're born in this body, and you're born in this body, and this is the body that you will continue to live in. And how we take care of that is very important. You don't get to exchange it. It is the body that you have to maintain. So I'll be speaking to you all on leadership and my personal challenges in leadership. And then I'm going to switch gears a little bit to talk about health. So I will be very quick. My slides will not show, so I am just going to go through and introduce myself. Again, I love the Lord. I do sing on the praise team. But every decision I make in my life, I try to put Him first. I'm a mother. I have 2 young boys. I'm going to be vulnerable with everyone because the pastor yesterday he blew my socks off. I had 3 children. My daughter is no longer here, and she passed at 7. And so this journey of becoming a leader and being a physician assistant, I did that through those kind of grief and pain as well. I am a business owner, Cornerstone Family Practice. We've been in business 7 years. We are now moving to our new location. We will have a ribbon cutting on May 5th, so if you can join us, I will be giving out more information. But we will be moving to our new space in May 1st and do the ribbon cutting. On the 5th, it is 1536 Owen Park Lane, and that is still in Fayetteville. And of course, I'm a PA again. I am a medical provider. And as we function in those roles, which you all function in your own roles, I'm a daughter. My mom is she comes to this church as well. She's a member, and most of y'all know her. I am a sister. I am the youngest of 3 siblings, and I'm a friend. So we're going to start to present on my leadership challenges. And there are some unique challenges that I face and struggles that I've come across in healthcare as a leader. So the slides you're not able to see, I'm going to go ahead and read them to you. I'm going to move on here. There are a few things I wanted to touch on: race, gender, lack of representation, stereotypes, and pay equity. So there are some unique challenges I face as a medical provider, and I did a little research. And I went to the American Academy of Physicians, Family Physicians, and I also went to the American Academy of Physician Assistants. And what I did find is that there are just under 6% of Black doctors or Black physician assistants. Under 6%. And when we look at women as well, and this is women in all race, class, less than 37%. So what we find is that for myself, there's very little representation. That third thing I said, lack of representation, so it incorporates race and gender. Again, this is a very male-dominant field. And so that does affect women in leadership and how we get opportunities to lead. And when you don't have representation, then you do not have a mentor. The stereotypes, let's speak to that, because in this male-dominant field again, as a assertive. When men are assertive in these roles, it is looked at as an accolade. It's, you're doing business. When women do it, we're aggressive. So sometimes what this does, it makes it difficult to work also in leadership because of those biases and stereotypes and not being able to be promoted. The last one I'll speak to here is pay and promotion. So I managed a clinic in Fayetteville, urgent care, and I was the manager for the clinic as well as the medical provider. My counterpart, even though his job was only to see patients, he still got paid more than I did. And I knew his salary because we were friends, so he was able to tell me what he made. But even being the manager and the provider, I still made less than him. So there's still some pay equity differences. Again, this affects promotion, it affects how we lead in healthcare. When I first became a PA, I worked in Blaine County, and my mentor was a physician called Dr. Hoskins. Dr. Hoskins, again, representation matters. She was a Black woman. She had an air about her that was very confident. She was smart. She was respected in the community. When she walked in the room, everyone revered her. And she was my example. And I wanted to show up in the world as, not as Dr. Hoskins, but just to represent myself in a manner that she did. She decided me. She was a Christian woman. So she not only helped me in leadership and helped me as a physician assistant, but she helped me in how she loved the Lord as well. And so she discipled me, but she mothered me because she was older. She was an older woman. And it was good to see because, again, she was the only Black female in the clinic at the time as well. My personal history, I will say, and I mentioned some of the challenges of my daughter who passed away as well. Some of the challenges that I faced when I first applied to the program, and I don't know who this is for, but I did not get accepted into the program. I got a letter back saying that literally the letter said no. And my ex-husband, who's my ex-husband now, said, call and see what was going on. And of course, he's an ex-husband, so I go, no, I don't want to. I'm not calling. But eventually I did call and found out that they did not even look at my application. They had closed the applications, even though they had many seats to fill. It was the first year they would fill that many seats, so they closed the application. I want to say thank God for a receptionist, because when she opened my packet and she saw my scores and she saw who I am, she brought it to the director, who then called me in for an interview. Here I am today because of that interview. So, out there that sometimes you get a no. It doesn't always be no, because I would not. For the ex-husband, thank you, Lord, because if it wasn't for him, I would not have called. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have called, because I had an attitude and I didn't want to call because he told me to call. And sometimes that's the issue, is the vessel who told you to call. However, I called and you ready today, so I am grateful for that. So what has happened for me, I recognize how I have to show up in the world for other people that look like me. So currently I precept for 2 colleges here in town, Methodist University and Campbell University. I'm a preceptor, so I take students in. They come in for 4 weeks. They see patients. They discuss it with me, but I want to show up so they see a strong figure in the community. For not just everyone, but for young women that look like minority women in this field. So I'm going to transition a little bit to a little bit of healthcare. And I had 2 verses that I wanted to read. I know there are many verses in the Bible that we can go to. But Jeremiah 17, to your members in February. The first time I heard it, I wrote it down. I said, I have to talk about that. And it says, and I'm reading from the English Standard Version, cursed is the man who trusts in man and makes flesh his strength, whose heart turns away from the Lord. The key to that verse I want to talk about is makes flesh his strength. And we can talk about flesh in many different aspects, but in this aspect I wanted to talk about it as our appetite. Not just food, but our appetite. 3 John 1:2, everyone knows. Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health as it goes well with your soul. Everyone can probably repeat that in their sleep. Goes well with your soul. We as Christians like to just talk about that part, but we don't talk about good health. I wanted to make this very interactive, and the slides, like I said, won't really work today, but good health. What can y'all tell me about good health? What does good health mean to you? Long life. Yeah. So I actually took something out of, what does it mean to be good health? It's a state of physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional well-being, where an individual is free from disease, illness, or injury. So again, going back to the title, we still have to live in this body. The body you were born in at birth is the same body you have till you die. Right? So we want to have a state of good physical, mental, emotional well-being, where we're free from disease, illness, and injury. Good health is the ability to perform daily activities without limitation of discomfort or pain. When you're not in good health and you're in pain, it causes other things to happen. It causes depression for some people. It causes anxieties for some people. Right? And disease we're talking about, and the one I'll speak on is a little bit is about obesity, but we have diabetes, you have heart disease. Good health encompasses various aspects of life. And some of the things that helps us maintain good health, and I list a few: nutrition, exercise, sleep. I stopped reading your Bible in there because reading helps, but reading your Bible, when I said earlier about spiritual health, that's part of your health care as well. Stress management, social and emotional connections. Again, we leave the church family out. Coming to church, coming to Sunday school, fellowshipping with each other. Having a positive outlook on life is going to be very important as well. All of these will contribute to helping maintain good health, good mental health as well. What happens when we ignore our health? There are a variety of consequences, again, such as chronic disease. We have heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and even some cancers. And when I speak on this, I'm not speaking about the things that you can't modify, right? Because there's some genetic reasons that we have poor health, and there's some cancers that are genetic. But we're talking about modifiable things. And some of the modifiable things are your diet, how we sleep, and the lack of physical activity, and smoking is one. The one I mentioned earlier that I would speak a little bit more on is obesity. We like to, in our culture, talk about obesity and kind of, we say people are lazy or they're non-compliant, and it's a personal flaw. But, studies are showing obesity as a disease. And obesity as a disease can be very complex, and there's a lot of multiple factors. So yes, we're talking about genetics, and we're talking about our environment, but there are two things that have come about. We need to look at appetite regulation and energy metabolism. Appetite regulation, how do we manage our cravings and our appetites? And And they have found there's some hormones, one leptin and one they talked about is ghrelin. And those hormones help to signal between the brain and the gut. And what that does, it helps you manage if you are full or if you're not full. So what happens is there's a dysregulation. And so it's not always that I'm lazy and I just don't want to exercise. There's something happening in your body as well. And that can cause you to, again, how you manage your fullness or not. Energy metabolism, that is how you generate energy. So how you burn calories. So when there is a problem there as well, we can tend to have some problems with obesity. So over the years, there's been some lifestyle patterns that have changed, and so it is influenced by an abundance of energy-dense foods. Does anyone know what energy-dense food, what does that mean? So you can have an opportunity to partake in this conversation. Energy-dense foods.
Keeps you full, right? Keeps you full.
Maybe let me ask it in another way. There are some foods that we eat that the makeup is still the same as maybe something healthy, right? The amount of the calories in the specific food is the same. So for instance, there's 250 calories in a small order of French fries, but there's also 250 calories in 10 cups of spinach. There's also 1.5 cup of strawberries, 250 calories, or an apple. Right? So the choices that you make, the choices on your 250 can either be healthy or it can be junk. Our foods are high in calories, sodium, added sugar. I like this one, it says fat solid. I think most people will understand fat solid versus saturated and unsaturated fat. If you're cooking and what you're cooking when it's cool, you can't see it's white or yellow. It's thick. That is solid fat, that is not fat, that's good for you. Okay. Refined grains. So this was actually something I researched because, we talk about refined grains a lot in medical, but refined grains, the grains should have germ and bran. Bran is the outer shell, and it produces the fiber and the B vitamins. Germ nourishes the brain, and it's a good source of heart healthy diet. It is packed with antioxidants and vitamin B. And what they've done is they've stripped your foods of these refined grains. And we're talking about rice, we're talking about breads, your pastas, cakes and cookies. Yeah.
So you say it's stripped?
It's stripped. Yeah. It's stripped. So you don't get the fiber. And fiber is how you metabolize fiber is better than how you would the rice that's now stripped because it helps you move your bowels better. And so it does help you with weight loss.
Would you mind repeating the two you said?
Leptin and ghrelin. And ghrelin sounds like a monster. And to speak to that, there are now medications that are targeting those hormones. And so for all the people that come to their provider and ask for weight loss medication, stop taking diabetes medications away from our diabetics. Because there's a shortage on Ozempic and Mounjaro because everyone wants to use it for weight loss, but it does help to because of those hormones. So there is a medication called Wegovy for anyone that's interested. They're very similar to Ozempic, and because diabetics have lost weight on Ozempic, they have reformulated that medication for weight loss. So take medicines appropriately. So again, according to the U.S. Surgeon General, 25% of the U.S. adults are completely sedentary. Over 60% are not regularly active at recommended 30 minutes per day. So we should be exercising at least 30 minutes a day. And I know the challenge sometimes is the paying for a gym membership, but you can do it at home. Pastor Sheila does the Woo Fitness free of cost. And so, you know, and I don't know if she started it back up this year, but it was, I know for a long time we had that going, and people came in and some people didn't. So there are opportunities that you can take advantage of. The age group 12 to 21, 14% are not physically active, almost 50% no vigorous activity. So we see a rise in obesity prevalence in our children. 30.5% in 2000 and 42.5% in 2018. So there's a lot of major risk factors to obesity: heart disease, hypertension, stroke, cancer, diabetes, sleep apnea, osteoporosis. So those are some of the things we don't think about. Weight on the joint. I'm not a fan of the BMI. I had it up because it depends on your percentage of body fat, right? But the idea is that BMI over 30 is considered obese, and then it does go up to stages of obesity 1, obesity 2, obesity 3. There is a higher prevalence of obesity among African American girls and Hispanic boys. Now I'm going to speak to mortality and morbidity of obesity. Mortality just means it's the state of being subject to death, while morbidity is just how does this condition cause you to suffer. There are 300,000 preventable deaths that occur in the U.S. Preventable, so we're not talking again about the things you can't modify. We're speaking to the things you can modify, the not exercising, the choices we make in our foods. 300,000 preventable deaths. Morbidity, so how does it cause us to suffer? Again, anxiety, depression, substance abuse, bullying for young people. And bullying and teasing also can lead back to suicide in that group. Asthma, sleep apnea again, orthopedic problem, heart disease, and metabolic outcomes. And the metabolic just has to do more with the high cholesterol and diabetes. We've even seen some with thyroid disorders that are autoimmune, and it is gluten-driven, and that's Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So again, it comes back to, again, the body that we're living in, and we do have to take care of it. But if we do have those challenges, we have to know where to go to get help. And so yes, there's your healthcare providers, and I'm wrapping it up, y'all. Your healthcare providers. Speak to your doctors, your PAs, your nurse practitioners, your family practice providers that can assist you and direct you in where to go. They can direct you whether you need a nutritionist, someone to talk to about how to eat better. Again, modifiable factors. I'm not talking about things you can't control. Okay? Counselors, again, because this disease can cause a burden on your mental health. Okay? And then last but not least, physical activities. We do have to get back and moving. And a lot of our kids, if we move, we can encourage them to move as well. Okay? Thank you for your time. Hope I didn't bore you.